of neoliberal policies and of global trade, not to be confused with globalization. In the mind of the drafters of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, as well as in the one of the even older drafters of the International Labor Organization Constitution, this brings us back to the end of the 19th century almost. Freedom from want was seen as a fundamental goal of humanity, and labor was described as not being a commodity. The idea was that even in a liberal and open economy, fair trade and human rights were seen as going hand in hand. We may disagree with that proposal, but as citizens, we never hijacked a society. So let's go back for a moment, don't worry, a very short moment, to good old Aristotle and the concept of the city. For this ancient Greek philosopher, the city is the most complete community that exists for the sake of the good life. The city is where we are respected as equals and listened to. It's a place where we debate and finally decide about political authority and rules that we see as contributing to our common good life. Human rights are not only a dream, they are norms. But in essence, they also are a recipe, or could be seen as a recipe, for a good democratic life. Active citizenship became a privilege granted to the winners. The rest of us are employable workers living on standby for a call from the market. Dispossessed from our rights, we are given roles we didn't ask for, and such roles are quite limited and highly individualized. One can look at the recent federal campaign for victims' rights. Well, I believe it's bizarre. They would like us to believe that a crime is an isolated thing that does not derive from societal dysfunctioning. According to the theory, a crime only requires law and order and a sentence. In such context, society does not exist. How does such a security obsession contribute to a good life? On the other hand, it certainly helps the elite to lead a safe life. You talk with the women from Grenada taking a blood sample, or to taxi drivers from Pakistan or Haiti. Often they were doctors, nurses at home, but home also pushed them to the margins. How can all that have happened in what we call a democracy? Well, in Latin America, human rights activists as well as scholars invented a very powerful expression, autogolpe. To keep it simple, an autogolpe, or a constitutional coup d'etat, happens when the rich and the powerful pervert democratic institutions in order to protect their dominant position. Can be done through constitutional amendments, appointments of judges, manipulation of the electoral process, or, in the Canadian case, I would say, manipulation of the parliamentary system. We already talked about that. You control the Senate, you bully private members' bills, you introduce and reintroduce bills that keep civil society busy and put at risk by repetition fundamental rights of women, such as in the case of C-484. And finally, you control and pervert the political discourse. You substitute the discourse of global security, the twin sister of social risks and economic rationale, to that of human rights as they are entrenched in the Charter. In conclusion,